They power your bank's data, your favorite app's performance, and the AI tools that seem to know you better than you know yourself. Behind it all is Snowflake. In just over a decade, this AI data cloud company has transformed how the world stores, processes, and extracts value from data. From Adobe and Pfizer to Swiggy and Razorpay, over 11,000 organizations globally rely on Snowflake as the data backbone of their digital future. Now, under the leadership of Sridhar Ramaswamy, the man who helped build search at Google and later founded the AI-native search engine Neeva, Snowflake is stepping into a new phase of growth. One that's powered by agentic AI, simplified enterprise stacks, and a clear mission to make data and AI transformative for everyone. In this edition of Young Turks, Voices from the Valley, we're at Snowflake's global headquarters, unpacking the company's evolution. From $1 billion quarter to AI-fueled innovation, India's upscaling push, and why Sridhar believes AI is just a tool, value is the real destination. As the lines blur between cloud, data, and intelligence, here's how Snowflake is building the platform that could define the enterprise tech stack for the AI era. Hello and welcome to the 12th edition of Voices from the Valley. I'm Shereen Bhan and we're at the Snowflake headquarters in conversation with CEO Sridhar Ramaswamy. Sridhar, what an absolute pleasure to have you join us here on Voices from the Valley. Let me start by talking to you about your story and your initiation into the world of Snowflake, which was, by chance, because you started your own company, Neeva, right, which got acquired by Snowflake in 2023. You weren't anticipating becoming CEO, but now 16 months into the saddle, what's the story been like?
You're right, Shereen. First of all, excited to be here, excited for this chat. Yeah, I came to Snowflake via an acquisition. We tried to create a search engine, and we decided to pivot to enterprise and become part of Snowflake. And originally, I had planned to stay on for 5-6 months, and one thing led to another, and I ended up becoming CEO. I'm having the time of my life. There's no better place to be than the world of data and AI. We're super excited about helping over 10,000 customers realize value from all of the investments that they have made with data. It's been thrilling. We had an amazing summit 2 weeks ago with over 20,000 attendees. Things are great.
You know, I'll talk about the summit and your conversation with Sam Altman and the messaging that's gone on. But, let's talk a little bit about where you find yourself today at this inflection point between what's happening in data and what's happening with AI. And you believe you're at the center of the AI revolution. So what gives you the opportunity to create the next unlock for Snowflake?
Yeah, so data for most companies has always been a bit of an afterthought. If you're a public company, you need data because you need to make your security filings every quarter. So it's a little bit of reporting than news. What we have realized more and more is that companies that use data to make themselves better on a continuous basis, like say Google Search or Google Ads did, those are the truly nimble companies that can adapt. And what AI now makes possible is, first of all, it helps you make sense of data that was previously impenetrable. Right. If you had a stack of documents, good luck trying to figure out what was in them. AI unlocks the value that's in these documents. Yeah. Similarly, any business person can ask questions in natural language because we're just used to it. It's things like that that AI brings on top of the investments that companies have already made with data. That's part of what puts us at the center. We've been all about how do you get value from your data? How do you have your data in order so that you can run great analytics, so that you can get great insights into where the business is going? AI is a massive speed up of that process, and that's what positions Snowflake to be in this great position.
Speaking about AI being the big accelerant, which is what you alluded to, from the data wars to the cloud wars, now to the AI era and the AI wars. What do you believe is the key differentiator as far as Snowflake is concerned today in this highly competitive landscape?
That's correct. That's correct. So, first of all, we don't pretend to be one of the research labs that are doing foundation models. I think those are few, but foundation models aren't all that useful unless you have access to the actual data that describes your enterprise, that has all of your contracts, that has all of the information that is relevant to you. And we use partnerships like with Anthropic, like with OpenAI and Microsoft and AWS and so on to bring the best models that are there on the planet to our customers. And it's really that magic of bringing these together, the thinking skills of these amazing models with the high quality data that is in Snowflake and the high quality data that we are helping people bring into Snowflake. That's the main reason that we are so relevant. And a lot of our product philosophy, which is rooted in things like simplicity, product cohesion. With AI, for example, you're not buying anything new with Snowflake. It comes as part of the platform. We've always had that one platform mentality. And AI now becomes this unlock on top of those things that we are doing. That's what positions us to be really well, to succeed in this AI space, because everything that we have done about creating an efficient data platform, an easy to use data platform, now gets AI as an accelerant for all of these things.
So what does all of this mean in terms of business outcomes then as far as Snowflake is concerned? You just announced your numbers, a beat there on estimates. So that's great news for you. Market cap almost between 69 and 70 billion, give or take. And it's been quite a ride from the time that Snowflake decided to IPO to where you are today. In terms of business outcomes, what could an AI future potentially lead to for Snowflake?
Yeah, so we just had our first $1 billion quarter, which is always a thrill for any company. Still growing strong, mind you. Our growth last quarter was 28-something%, which is a pretty big number on top of some $4+ billion of anticipated revenue this year. So we feel good in terms of where the business is. And our strength comes from core analytics, which is doing exceptionally well, with additional new products in areas like data engineering and AI, providing the additional oomph, the additional acceleration. It is that 1-2 of being strong in a core of a scaled business and naturally using additional things on top of that, that gives us confidence that we can lean into the business and that we can make it accelerate, in fact.
So $1 billion run rate, is that the new normal now, or is that the expected normal as far as Snowflake is concerned?
Absolutely. If you're growing at a very healthy rate and you made $1 billion in a quarter, which is $4-something billion, our guidance for the year is $4.3+ billion. Absolutely, that is the new normal. As I said, if anything, we should be taking advantage of the current environment, the current market, and aspiring for even more.
Well, speaking of aspiring for even more and the ambition from here, I want to go back to the conversation that you had with Sam Altman. And the message from Altman was loud and clear. If you're not all in on AI, then you're missing the big opportunity. You're missing the bus, so to speak. But as you look at the environment today, as you talk to clients that you're working with, what's the sense that you get? What's the hesitation? What are some of the deterrents that perhaps are forcing people to sit it out on the fence still?
I don't think there are many people that are sitting it out. On the other hand, every rational CEO is going to demand outcomes, not just jumping onto some bandwagon. And it's the same with me. I, want us to use AI tools. We use a lot of coding co-pilots, for example, but I also want to make sure that my engineers are more productive. AI is not an end in and of itself. Again, that goes very well with the message that we give our customers, which is to be value-driven. I tell our customers that every project needs to generate positive ROI. I don't believe in super long investments without a lot of accountability along the way. So from that perspective, absolutely, lots of customers are leaning in. We have over 5,000 customers that are using our AI products. So I don't think there is an amount of hesitation. On the other hand, there are also lots of data that is trapped in legacy systems where it's hard to bring the power of AI. And there, we try to be measured with our customers in terms of, if you do this migration, this is the unlock that it's going to have on the business, and this is the positive impact that you're going to have. It's a process. I think people are doing it. Yes, there's a little bit of hesitation or sometimes fear about what this all means. But like Sam was saying, the best way to get out of that is to embrace it, is to embrace the change. Do it in little ways. In your personal life, I often ask people, what are all the dumb things that you do with AI? I generate memes with AI. I'm proud of it. But the more you're familiar with the technology, the easier it becomes to see the value that you're going to get from it.
So a meme a day, is that what you're working on?
It's like it's meme on demand.
It's a meme
whenever
on
you
demand.
want.
That's right. But I want to walk you back to your beginnings. You know, from IIT Madras to the Valley, Google in between, Bell Labs as well.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's talking about the pace of change and how much things have changed. Take me through your own experience of witnessing, observing, and now participating in this kind of change that we're seeing.
I came as a student, as you said, from IIT Madras. I got a PhD, slow start, did research at places like Bell Labs. Moved to the Valley because I could see then that the internet was something else. That was the first big wave of change. And it came with its own exuberance, irrational exuberance, as somebody called it. There was a big stock market crash then.
Yeah.
But the internet changed our lives. It changed publishing. It changed so many different things. I was fortunate to be a part of one of the icons of the internet age, which was Google, and in one of the best businesses that there ever was.
Yeah.
We then lived through the mobile change, where all of a sudden, it's not a billion people, it's 5 billion people got their hands on the internet, on mobile devices that could do anything for them. I feel like this is almost a change of that magnitude, where there is a little bit of before AI, after AI, in terms of what it can do for innovation. And lots of lessons that we learned both in the internet era, but also in mobile, come in handy in terms of managing organizations through change, helping customers manage through this kind of change as well. It's exhilarating. It can be exhausting because there's so much change that is happening.
Yeah.
But the unlocks are also pretty incredible. It's an exciting time to be.
You talked about the Google experience and the big Google moment that you saw.
Yeah.
Do you believe that we're likely to see that being replicated, except being replicated on steroids now in an AI era? I mean, what are we talking about?
You're seeing it right now. I don't think Google's market cap went to $350 billion as quickly as OpenAI's has. Absolutely. I think change is being driven faster and faster than before. It's an exciting time, but also it's one where you have to figure out how to manage change for yourself, for your team, for your company, for your customers. It's challenging.
Sridhar, the CEO playbook, 16 months on, running Snowflake, you had some pretty large shoes to fill into.
That's
right. What's the playbook looking like at this point in time in a world which is sort of breaking and changing so quickly?
Great products, first and foremost. That's what defines great technology companies. And so I spend a lot of time with creating great products at every layer of the stack. Our message to our customers, we want to be there from ingest to insight, from where data is first born and brought into a system to when they can get insight from the system. We have an amazing go-to-market team. I'm super quantitative. Part of what I've contributed to that team is a framework for excellence. And we have a new CRO that is driving excellence on that side. That's the 1-2 punch of Snowflake. Great products, great sales, that leading to great customer outcomes. That's what drives our success.
So my final question, India, the importance of India as far as Snowflake is concerned, and more importantly, the ambition that you've laid out now for Snowflake over the next few years.
Yeah, so we have a big team in India. We have an amazing team that's based in Pune that runs a lot of critical functions for Snowflake. We also have a presence in many cities in India. Amazing customers like Swiggy, Tata Motors, Bajaj, lots of them that we are very proud to partner with. And so it's a big market for us. India is going to become the 4th largest economy in the world pretty quickly. And I think there is an incredible amount of just value to be created by being there. I'm excited for it. We are leaning into things like having a larger team in India, helping with education more. We have a program called the Million Minds program, where we want to help people become more proficient with data and AI. So we are leaning into it. We are excited for India's progress.
And Snowflake, the ambition?
Well, I think we have the chance to create an iconic company. Data is going to be at the center of this AI revolution. I was part of creating the icon that Google has become. Everybody in the world knows Google. That's the bar that we set for ourselves in terms of the impact that we have on the world. Obviously, those are some very big shoes to fill, but it's one step at a time.
It's one step at a time, and we wish you the very best of luck with that ambition, with that plan. Sridhar, what an absolute pleasure to have you join us here on Voices from the Valley. Thanks very much for your time. That's Sridhar Ramaswamy here at the Snowflake headquarters, talking to us about where the world is headed and the kind of impact that Snowflake hopes to make as we enter this hypercharged AI era. From all of us here on the team for now, many thanks for watching. Do stay tuned to CNBC TV 18. We're back in a moment. Welcome back. Here are some highlights from the AI action from the 12th edition of Young Turks Voices from the Valley. From bold bets on agentic AI to India-first innovations redefining global playbooks. The future is being built right here, and we're bringing you front row access. Until next time, keep watching Young Turks. This big billion-dollar bet that Cognizant has decided to make on AI, and I think it brings to bear the larger question facing Indian IT services companies today. In an AI world, how relevant will Indian IT services companies be?
I think, they're going to be very relevant. First of all, the $1 billion bet that we made was in 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
Getting a talent ready for the AI era, getting the infrastructure ready, which is the AI labs, and then building solutions, custom solutions for our clients. The Indian IT services companies are right in the middle of building those solutions, whether it is getting the data ready for the AI era or building the AI relevant solutions. And the $1 billion bet we have made is paying off really well for us. And our clients are loving it, our markets are loving it, and we like it, and we are doubling down on that.
Do you believe as the uncertainty ebbs, we're likely to see more of the large and mega deal conversion?
This framework will gain widespread acceptance is what we believe, and that translates to a large deal. We have proven the point in 2 cases in the recent past, and we have good pipeline with the same construct, where we are approaching clients with saying that we can we can unlock the trapped value, and then we can help you fund transformation. By construct itself would become a large deal.
What are the next set of problems that you're hoping to solve for?
Most important right now is to make these agents and agentic systems interoperable. We are agnostic to what platform or cloud you're using, and you will be using many in an enterprise, but we need to be able to plug them in and have them work together without having to go re-engineer the existing system that you've built. If you ask a large language model to make a decision, it can come back to you and say, here's the best decision I think I want to make, and I am, let's say, 95% confident in it. In that case, you've set a threshold and said, okay, if you're above 90% confident, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
But if it comes back and says, here's the best decision I can make, but it's at around 65% confidence, you can say, okay, wait, we'll have a human come in and take over for you. And so some of that, like drawing the line as to where it's autonomous and where a human comes into the loop, can be automated in this manner. Well, the humans actually will have, trust me, much more to do than before. I actually think every time we've come up with such a hugely disruptive technology, we've thought that we're all going to be going home or going to the beach, and we've all gotten much more busy.
Let's talk about AI and what that's going to mean now as far as Notion's future is concerned. How do you see yourself making an AI pivot?
Well, AI is like new electricity for us. We've spent about a decade building an incredible editor, an incredible database where people are doing lots of work. There's tens of millions of people using the product. And now what AI does is it infuses all this power. One of the things that we always hear from people is that people really love the product, but they find it hard to really customize it or build it to a place that they would like. And AI enables that.
This is a space dominated by the big boys, right? Between Google and Microsoft, it's the lion's share of the market. Now, how do you take on these large legacy incumbents? What is the strategy to go after a share of that pie? And what do you see as the addressable market for yourself?
It is a multi-decade path, and it has been done before, so I'm excited about that. I was in school, maybe in college, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, Google Docs and Gmail came into life. And when I was in school, it felt like the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Like we all grew up using these products. And when I went to work, I demanded that we should use Google products because that's what I grew up with.
That was the gold standard.
That was the gold standard. And if you talk to students today, high school students, college students, startup founders, they're all growing up on Notion.
Are you having conversations with ChatGPT on your drive back home as well, Ajit?
Not on a very regular basis, yeah, but
you are.
I am, and I'm using audio, video capabilities for professional and personal stuff. If I have
Okay.
some plants that the leaves are like dying, and I'm just turning on ChatGPT video mode and asking what type of plant it is, what should be doing, do I need to give more water, less water, is there too much sun, what's going on, and I get pretty good advice. And professionally also, it's been very transformational. AI is going to become very, very boring, and what I mean by that is it's going to be completely embedded in the apps that we use, in the workflows, and we won't realize that it's going to be boring. I remember still in the late 90s going from a text-based browser called Lynx to Netscape, and you could see graphics, and wow, this is amazing. Similarly, when I got my BlackBerry the first time, I was so excited that you can get email anywhere.
Yeah.
Those things are boring today. They don't excite us anymore, and they're just seamlessly integrated into our life.
AI and India, Dave, and how you see that playing out. I mean, from a consumption point of view, a large part of ChatGPT's success is on account of Indian users. Forget monetizing it, that's an entirely different story. But how do you see the India equation with AI?
Yeah, I think the start has been slow when it comes to really market-leading AI venture creation in India. I think there's been a sort of lag effect to what's going on here. Historically, the software industry, the software startup industry in India was sort of a fast follower industry. They'd go after mature markets here and launch into those markets and build something that was better, faster, cheaper. I think in this age where sort of AI native startups are growing very, very fast and exploring new sort of domains, I don't think the fast follower strategy works. And so I think the India startup ecosystem is trying to find its feet in this rapidly changing environment. So I think that's a risk, but there's also opportunity. There's a lot of the manual work in the world, business manual processes has gone to India and Southeast Asia, the Philippines, and so on, contact centers and revenue cycle management and all sorts of other things in all these different financial services, healthcare, et cetera. I think there's about a $350 billion BPO industry. There's a multi-$100 billion IT services industry. And those are all manual processes. That is what AI is going after.
Let's talk about what's happening with the AI race today. And I know that you were in India. You've been talking to the Indian government about what it intends to do as far as the semiconductor mission is concerned. We've finally gotten started. Speaking of putting things on track, do you believe we're on the fast track? Do you believe we're in the slow lane today?
So we started off with a bang on semiconductor. So we literally, my idea and suggestion that they followed was that we need to have a semiconductor fabrication facility. So to that extent, they have, by the way, 6 different programs going on at different stages of the thing. But I think we still need more, in my opinion. And somehow I feel we are not as aggressively pursuing it as we were initially, because there was something new about it. So maybe I need to go back and really push a little bit harder for India to succeed in AI race. And to succeed, right now we don't build those GPUs ourselves. Although I would love to see India make its own GPUs. And I'm personally quite engaged in that process of making sure we have that capability and capacity. As you know, AI has become an arm race. And
you almost liken it to a nuclear arms race.
That's right. It's even more specifically, the chip is the fuel, the uranium that's needed, which is hard to procure, and all the countries want to keep it themselves, and that is the GPUs. And that's why I think it's important that just like India finally broke out and created its own nuclear bomb, the atom bomb, they need to really figure out a way to make this own GPU.